Why do most men struggle to keep a woman engaged in conversation? It's not about looks, money, or status. It's about how you make her feel. Too many men overthink every word, leading to awkwardness or freeze-up, lacking the confidence to steer the interaction. And trust me, women can sense hesitation instantly. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't built on what you have, but on the emotions you evoke. If you can create intrigue, spark curiosity, and confidently lead a conversation, she won't just enjoy talking to you, she'll crave it. In today's video, we'll break down 6 powerful questions that will make a woman think about you long after the conversation ends. These aren't pickup lines or cheap tricks. They're designed to deepen emotional engagement and put you in control of the interaction, all through the lens of Stoic confidence. Stick around until the end, because once you master these questions, you'll never struggle to create attraction again. Let's get started. Attraction isn't about what you have, how you look, or even what you say. It's about how you make her feel. A woman doesn't fall for logic, she falls for emotion. If you can trigger intrigue, curiosity, and excitement, she won't just enjoy talking to you, she'll crave it. Her mind will replay your words long after the conversation ends. Not because of what you said, but because of the emotions you spark. The key isn't to impress her with achievements or superficial charm, but to create an experience that captivates her deeper. A man who understands this doesn't seek approval, he leads the interaction. He doesn't chase, he creates a dynamic in which she naturally invests in the conversation. Most men make the mistake of adapting to what they think a woman wants, trying too hard to please her. But real attraction comes from controlling the frame, setting the tone, asking the right questions, and keeping her engaged. When you lead confidently, you become the source of excitement, rather than just another man trying to win her over. Stoicism plays a crucial role in this. A man grounded in his sense of self isn't swayed by external validation. He speaks with certainty, unbothered by whether she approves or not. This creates a magnetic effect. Women are naturally drawn to men who seem in control and don't fumble for attention but command it effortlessly. When you master this mindset, you stop reacting to her and start guiding the interaction in a way that leaves her wanting more. Question 1. What's the most attractive quality you look for in a man? Most men try too hard to impress a woman, listing their achievements, telling stories to seem interesting, or trying to guess what she finds attractive. But the most intelligent men take a different approach. Instead of assuming, they ask, "What's the most attractive quality you look for in a man?" It's a simple question, but its effect is profound. The moment she answers, she isn't just talking. And if you know how to use it correctly, she's imagining you in that role. Few men ever ask this question. Most are too focused on proving their worth instead of understanding what excites them. But when you ask, you create a shift. She pauses, thinks, and reveals what truly captivates her. You reinforce confidence with firm, steady eye contact. If she says confidence, if she values humor, you effortlessly weave it into the conversation. If ambition draws her in, you subtly mention the goals that drive you. This isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about naturally displaying the traits she already desires. The mistake many men make is using this question too early, making the conversation feel like an interview. Attraction isn't built on interrogation, but curiosity, mystery, and emotional connection. Another trap is seeking validation, hearing her answer and immediately trying to mold yourself into her ideal. A man who truly understands his value doesn't adapt to a woman. He listens, evaluates, and decides whether she aligns with his wants. A Stoic man remains in control, unaffected by the need for approval. He doesn't try to be the man she wants, he simply is, and that in itself makes him irresistible. Question 2. What do you enjoy most about those close, intimate moments with someone you trust? Most men navigate conversations on autopilot, relying on predictable small talk that does little to spark genuine attraction. They ask about her job, weekend plans, or favorite hobbies, believing familiarity builds connection. But women don't fall for a man because of surface-level exchanges. They remember how he makes them feel. If a man can evoke deep emotions, excitement, nostalgia, security, or passion, he becomes unforgettable. One of the most effective ways to tap into this emotional depth is by shifting the conversation from logic to feeling. Instead of asking routine questions, ask something that forces her to connect with her emotions. What do you enjoy most about those close, intimate moments with someone you trust? This question disrupts the usual flow of conversation. It isn't something she hears every day, and because of that, it makes her pause. In that moment, she must search her emotions for an answer, and as she does, she relives the feelings associated with true intimacy. Whether she describes a moment of profound vulnerability, playful laughter, or a sense of absolute safety, the key is that she is now immersed in her own emotions, and the more she feels, the more she unconsciously associates those feelings with the man who guided her there. Women crave emotional depth in a way that many men fail to recognize. A man who can create that depth without forcing it holds an undeniable power. Unlike the majority who skim the surface, he dares to explore what truly matters to her. This is why most men struggle to create lasting attraction. They focus on impressing her with achievements, looks, or humor, yet overlook that attraction is not built on what is said, but on what is felt. When a woman recalls a powerful emotion in a man's presence, she connects those emotions to him. This is why some men seem to draw women in effortlessly, even without extraordinary looks or status. They understand that attraction is less about who they are on paper and more about how they make a woman feel in their presence. But timing is crucial. This question must be asked when the conversation flows, not as an abrupt shift. If placed too early, it feels intrusive. If forced, it feels scripted. The key is to sense the energy between you both. Wait for a moment of comfort, of openness, and then introduce the question with a natural curiosity. Let silence create anticipation. Give her the space to think and feel. The depth of her response will reveal what she values most. Does she speak about emotional security, hinting at a need for trust and stability? Or does she describe physical intimacy in a way that suggests passion drives her strongest connections? Her answer is a window into her emotional world, and understanding that world is the difference between being just another guy and being the one who truly captivates her. A man who understands emotional attraction does not chase feelings, he guides them. He remains grounded, never rushing to fill silences, never scrambling to keep her engaged. He allows emotions to develop naturally, trusting that deep connection is not something to be forced, but to be unlocked. This is the foundation of actual masculine presence. It's what separates a man who is merely interesting from one who is genuinely desirable. When you master this, women don't just enjoy your company, they become drawn to it, craving the emotional richness that so few men can provide. Question 3. What do you value most in a relationship? A man who values his time doesn't invest in a woman blindly. He evaluates, observes, and most importantly, asks the right questions. Attraction, chemistry, and shared interests may create a spark, but aren't enough to sustain a lasting relationship. Compatibility is about values, and one of the simplest yet most revealing ways to assess this is by asking, what do you value most in a relationship? This question isn't just small talk. It's a window into how she views love, commitment, and partnership. Her answer exposes her expectations, priorities, and whether she genuinely aligns with you. But timing matters. When the connection is shallow, asking this question too soon will likely get a generic response: trust, love, respect. While these are important, they don't tell much about what drives her. The key is to ask when the moment feels right, when emotions are engaged, and when she is comfortable enough to be honest. If she feels safe opening up, she may reveal things beyond cliches. Perhaps she values emotional connection above all, or prioritizes ambition and personal growth. Some women crave excitement and spontaneity, while others seek stability and security. Whatever her answer, it tells you exactly what kind of relationship she wants. A wise man listens carefully to what she says and how she says it. Does she speak with conviction, or does she hesitate? Does she mention qualities that align with your wants, or does her answer make you question whether you're truly compatible? Men's biggest mistake is ignoring misalignment, convincing themselves that differences don't matter, or that a strong emotional connection will fix everything. The relationship built on conflicting values is a slow, burning disaster. There will be friction if you value growth and ambition, but she values comfort and predictability. If you crave emotional depth, you will feel unfulfilled, but she avoids vulnerability. A Stoic man does not settle. He does not cling to a woman simply because she excites him or makes him feel wanted. He chooses a partner based on wisdom, not fleeting emotions. When she answers this question, he does not react impulsively or try to steer the conversation in a direction that suits him. He observes, reflects, and makes a decision. If her values align with him, the connection deepens naturally. If they don't, he accepts it and moves on without attachment. Too many men waste time molding a relationship into something it isn't, believing that passion is enough to overcome fundamental differences. But a man who respects himself understands that love is not about forcing compatibility. It's about recognizing it. The right woman is not the one he chases or tries to fix. She is the one whose values naturally align with his own. Question 4. What's the most attractive thing in a man? Something that drives you crazy. Attraction is not just about looks or status, but what a man exudes. Every woman has something that drives her crazy, something about a man that makes her heart race and her mind fixate on him. Asking, what's the most attractive thing in a man? Something that drives you crazy is more than a flirty question. It forces her to verbalize her deepest desires, to reflect on the kind of man who genuinely excites her. The way she responds tells you everything about what she values in masculinity. But this is not a question for just any moment. It only works when trust and attraction are already established. If you ask too early, it comes off as forced, like you're fishing for validation. But when the moment is right, when she's already engaged and interested, her answer becomes revealing. If she says confidence, don't just acknowledge it, own it. Hold her gaze, smirk, and let her feel the energy behind your presence. If she values humor, tease her, challenge her, and keep the conversation playful. If she mentions dominance or mystery, understand that she craves a man who isn't quickly figured out, someone who leads without asking for permission. The real power of this question isn't in hearing her answer, it's in how you respond. A weak man will adjust to fit whatever she says, molding his personality to meet her desires. But a man who knows his worth listens, observes, and decides if her preferences align with what he naturally brings. The chemistry deepens effortlessly if she describes traits that match who you are. But if she idolizes something that doesn't resonate with you, if she chases bad boys while you embody stability and leadership, walk away with dignity. The moment you contort yourself to fit a woman's fantasies is the moment you lose your power. A Stoic man doesn't ask this question to seek approval, he asks to assess. He knows he is already enough and doesn't bend to fit a mold that isn't his. Women respect a man who stands firm in his identity, who doesn't chase validation but naturally attracts it. When you understand this, attraction is no longer a game of trying to be what she wants. It's about being who you are and letting her decide if she's drawn to it. And that is what truly makes a man irresistible. Question 5. What's something men do that absolutely annoys you? A confident man doesn't fear a woman's criticism, he welcomes it. When you ask her, what's something men do that absolutely annoys you? You're not just making small talk. You're giving her a chance to express herself, to vent about past frustrations, and to reveal the kind of man she doesn't respect. But more importantly, you're positioning yourself as different. How you handle her answer determines whether the conversation builds attraction or turns into a moment of tension. Most men either get defensive or try too hard to please. A man who takes himself too seriously will argue, while a man who seeks validation will immediately agree with everything she says. Neither response earns respect. The key is to stay light-hearted, playful, and completely unfazed. If she complains about cocky guys, instead of shrinking, you smirk and say, "Good thing you haven't seen my last beach photo shoot." If she says she hates men who text too much, you lean back and reply, "Guess I'll cancel that 5-paragraph message I was about to send." This approach does two things. It shows confidence and it keeps the energy engaging. You're acknowledging her frustration without making it a serious issue. Women are naturally drawn to men who can take criticism without reacting emotionally. When you don't get offended, it signals emotional strength. When you respond with humor, it creates a playful dynamic that intrigues her. A Stoic man understands that criticism is just an opinion. It holds no power unless he lets it. He doesn't react emotionally or change himself to fit a woman's expectations. Instead, he sees these moments as opportunities to build connections. When a woman can express herself openly without conflict, she becomes more engaged. She sees you as an emotionally secure man who can handle her honesty without crumbling. This alone makes you stand out. Traction isn't built through agreement. It's built through dynamic energy. A woman doesn't want a man who passively nods to everything she says. She wants someone who can challenge her in a way that excites her, makes her laugh, and remains confident no matter what. If you can master this, you shift from being just another guy she tolerates to the one she remembers. The man who is unaffected by criticism is the man who commands respect, and ultimately, the one who holds the power in any interaction. Question 6. Coffee or beer? Attraction isn't about rehearsed lines or grand romantic gestures. It's about creating an effortless, natural, and engaging interaction. Too many men complicate conversations, searching for the perfect thing to say when simplicity is the most effective way to build a connection. A question as casual as coffee or beer might seem insignificant, but it's a powerful tool in the right hands. It subtly shifts the conversation toward an in-person meetup without feeling forced or calculated. The key lies in the delivery. A confident man doesn't ask this question nervously or as if seeking approval. He presents it with playful curiosity, adding an element of suspense. All right, I've got a tough question for you. This creates intrigue, making her naturally more engaged. Whether she answers coffee or beer doesn't matter. The point is that it sets the stage for the next move. If she says coffee, he responds effortlessly. You love coffee? Let's check out your go-to spot. If she chooses beer, he pivots smoothly. Great taste. You got to show me the best place in town. It's not a desperate plea for a date. It's an invitation to continue an enjoyable in-person interaction. A Stoic man understands that attraction isn't about convincing or chasing. It's about creating the right conditions and letting things unfold. He doesn't overanalyze her response or wait anxiously for validation. If she's interested, she'll engage naturally. If not, he moves forward without hesitation. The power dynamic shifts when a man stops seeking permission and starts leading quickly. Women are drawn to men who create opportunities rather than beg for them. Many men sabotage themselves by overcomplicating the process. They hesitate, overthink, and seek reassurance before making a move. But attraction thrives in spontaneity. A simple question like coffee or beer removes the pressure, making the transition into a date feel organic rather than forced. It's not about what you say, but how you say it. A man who leads with confidence and detachment will always stand apart from those who wait for the perfect moment, because, in reality, the ideal moment is the one you create. Mastering attraction isn't about memorizing lines, trying too hard to impress, or seeking validation. It's about how you make a woman feel in your presence. A truly confident man, guided by Stoic principles, leads purposeful interactions, remains emotionally composed, and never chases approval. These 6 questions aren't just conversation starters. They are tools that create emotional engagement, intrigue, and genuine connection. Each question shifts the conversation beyond the ordinary, making her think, feel, and remember you long after the interaction ends. But here's the key. It's not just about the questions you ask, but how you ask them. A high-value man delivers these questions with confidence, patience, and curiosity, not desperation. He isn't trying to impress her. He's evaluating whether she aligns with what he wants. He's not adapting to her preferences, setting the frame, leading the interaction, and maintaining emotional control. This separates men who effortlessly attract women from those who struggle to keep their interest. Attraction isn't built through wealth, status, or superficial charm. It's built through emotional engagement, presence, and the ability to create a dynamic where she feels comfortable and challenged. When you master leading a conversation rather than chasing it, you naturally become the kind of man she can't stop thinking about. Now, I want to hear from you. What has been your experience with leading conversations? Have you tried asking deep, engaging questions instead of relying on small talk? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love your perspective. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you find value in this video. There's much more to uncover about attraction, psychology, and self-mastery. Stay confident, stay in control, and I'll see you in the next one.